This is the Ludlow Porch Show on the Fun Seekers Radio Network, brought to you in part by Jasper Jeep. No matter where you live, your Jeep dealership is in Jasper, Georgia. And by the Blue Willow Inn, gracious hospitality and superb southern food. The toll-free lines are now open at 1-800-572-TALK. That's 1-800-572-8255. Or in Greater Atlanta, 770-205-2741. And now, here's Ludlow Porch.
Well, good morning, Fun Seekers. How y'all out there in Radio Land? Denny and I, once again together, having a big time. Gorgeous day, just a gorgeous day. And let me tell you what I want to talk about. We've been spending the week so far talking about just the little things that you need to get off your chest, like things that, how did we live without? We talked about that yesterday. Let me see what else we got here. We talked about whatever happened to the day before that. Today, we're going to talk about, well, it's not like I got a real... Now, today we're going to talk about how to get rid of Sunday papers when they're in your way. No, we're going to talk about things you could live without. Got a bunch of those. Things you could live without. Anything jump to mind? You know, the first thing jumps to my mind when I think about that are speed breakers. I guess speed breakers have a place. But boy, they shouldn't be out in the road where you run over them in your car. Speed breakers drive me nuts. I hope the guy who invented those things is satisfied. Drives me nuts. I could do without speed breakers. Road construction. Now, I know that we're going, from time to time, we're going to have maintenance on roads. From time to time, we're going to have new roads. It just seems to me like it takes an awful long time and an awful lot of work to do what could be done shortly. Road construction, I could really do without it. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy with the little orange plastic things that, you know, blocks your traffic, but I could do without road construction. That's a backup problem right there. I could easily do without the car horn. I don't like it when somebody else uses it, and I rarely use it myself. It's got to be kind of an emergency for me to hit that horn. Don't like it at all. Unfortunately, we don't hear it much in the South, like you do in the rest of the country. You want to hear some car horns? Go to the Caribbean on one of those islands down there. Drive you nuts. Drive you nuts. Because down there, it doesn't mean get out of the way. It means I see you. And they see everybody. Big traffic. I know everybody talks about traffic. Nobody does anything about it. I think Calvin Coolidge said that, didn't he? But nobody does anything about it. It's awful, and it's getting worse. And if we're going to stay in the big city, we're going to have to learn to accept it. It's just awful. I could do without all this traffic. I could do without people who wear eyebrow rings. Now, before you say anything, I know it's none of my business. I understand that completely. I told you the story about going into the ice cream place to get an ice cream cone. Not long ago, a year. And a very pretty little cheerleader-type girl waited on me. Turned around to hand me my chocolate cone or whatever it was, and had an eyebrow ring, and I lost my appetite. They're nasty looking. I could do without those. I could do without telemarketers for the same reason you could. Though they got to make a living, but boy, they're hard to work with. I was talking to my younger son the other night, and I said, Charlie, how do you handle telemarketers? He said, as soon as I realize what it is, I just hang up. I said, isn't that rude? He said, it probably is rude. That's what I do. I just hang up. Do without tattoos. Personal, that's a big fad now. That's merely personal taste on my part. I could do without them. Here's one I want to talk to you about. I like the Waffle House. I eat at the Waffle House anytime I can. I'll stop at the Waffle House and get a little bite of breakfast. Did this morning. Love the Waffle House. Everywhere they're consistent, like the Waffle House. They have the jukeboxes they put in there now. I don't know how long this has been going on. And the Waffle House, by its very nature, is kind of noisy. You know, the waitresses hollering back and forth, dishes clanging, that sort of thing. By its very nature, but that's part of it. But when you add loud music to that, it almost becomes overbearing. We got to do something about that. Loud music at the Waffle House. I could do without that. I could do without rutabagas. Enough said. Rutabagas smell nasty when they're cooking and taste nasty after they get... No, you can't even use them for fish meat. Don't like rutabagas. Here's one that kills me, and this is getting more and more and more. The news tease. Television and radio has joined into that. The station I listen to when I'm in the shower in the morning will do a news tease, and I know that I'm going to be through with my shower and outside before I hear it again, and I never will get the story. News teases just wear me. You know what I'm talking about. Russian planes headed for New York. Details at 11. Could do without that. The news tease. Could do without Bette Midler. I haven't seen her television show, nor will I. I've seen the promos for her. Bette Midler's a very coarse woman. Is that the word for Bette Midler? Coarse? I think so. Anyway, that's some of the stuff I could do without, and I hope you've got something that you could, well, I really do hope that you've got some things you'd like to talk about that you could live without. Here's the way you get in here. 1-800-572-8255. It's Ludlow and Denny on the Fun Seekers Radio Network.
9 days till Groundhog Day.
I've talked to you before about the Jasper Jeep logo that you see on the rear window of cars everywhere. Well, that logo tells you a lot more than the name of the dealership where the car was purchased. Yes, sir. It says that this car was bought at a fair price. It says there was no hassle involved, no haggling, not even any negotiations. A fair price with no tricks ever. That's what that logo stands for. Let me put it this way. If your car has our logo on the back window, that is your guarantee of customer satisfaction. Listen again, that is your guarantee of customer satisfaction. Yes, sir. The Jasper Jeep logo can bring you a lot of peace of mind. Jasper Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, in Jasper, Georgia. Now they open 8 to 7, Monday through Saturday, but never, ever on Sunday. You tell them Ludlow Porch sent you by, and you are there to pick up your dream car at Jasper Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth. All right, and we need to say happy birthday. We've got a big birthday today. Denny, how old do you think Ernest Borgnine is? Surprising. Huh? Close. 84. 84 years old. Remember from Marty? Remember Marty, Marty a butcher? That was the first time most people knew what Ernest Borgnine's name was in a movie called Marty. He got the Academy Award for that. But what set him loose was he played Fatso Judson in From Here to Eternity. Beat Frank Sinatra to death. He was meaner to Frank Sinatra than Ava Gardner was. Yeah, funny, but good, great movie. Well, watch for that. Listen, if you think that's a war movie, it's not. This is a heavy dramatic movie, and you ought to watch it if you've never seen it. From Here to Eternity, and it brought Ernest Borgnine, made him a star. We'll talk about all of that and whatever else is out there and have you happy with, and primarily we have zeroed in on things you could live without. Things you could live without. Two guys in the Waffle House this morning, one of them at that counter, one of them in a booth. They just happened to recognize each other, both of them contractors, and they were hollering back and forth, whole conversation, hollering back and forth. maybe I'm getting old, but that bothers me. Why don't y'all sit together? Nobody had to yell at Jenny's right. Yell over the jukebox. Road construction, the car horn, that's always been a favorite of mine. Hate it. All traffic. You know, I have about found a way to do away with traffic in my life, for the most part. Not much traffic in the mountains. You have to come out of those mountains sometime to help make a living and do something, but for the most part, don't have to face it. So therefore, when I get into a big city, and I'm late for something, anything, and I hit that traffic, it's twice as bad. It's like living in Florida and then going to Juneau, Alaska, I guess. We'll talk about all of that. 1-800-572-8255. It is absolutely a wonderful day to be alive as we go to Carrolton, Georgia, and talk to my friend Bob. Hello, big boy.
Good morning, sir. I know y'all doing real good.
You're doing great.
Absolutely. Listen, last night I was flipping through the TV and I ran across something that is kind of one of my pet peeves, one of the things that I can live without.
Mm-hmm.
And it's these banks sending out these credit cards to just anybody.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, son, I guess other people too, some months ago that I got a thing in the mail about a credit card with a limit of $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to thinking, well, I throw the fool thing in the trash. I don't need a credit card. But there's a lot of people out there that, man alive, they get a hold of something like this, and you can't pay off $100,000 at 21% interest.
No.
There ain't no way in the world you can do that. And there's people that'll do that.
Not unless you get awful lucky at the horse track. Well, let me tell you what I think they do. Because I get a couple of these a day, and that's the truth. A couple a day. And they all, they're going to waive this and they're going to waive that, and I can borrow money on that to pay off this, and all the promises and all the wonderfulness. I think that there's some kind of credit check done before they send those things. I'm sure they wouldn't send those things out to somebody that was not responsible, from the credit standpoint, would they?
Well, the little old girl that they had on there last night, she had just come off of a bankruptcy because she got one of these things, and she charged up $14,000 worth. And the lady asked her that was doing the interview, she said, now what have you got to show for this $14,000 that you spent? And she said, absolutely nothing.
Huh.
She'd go to the store and get her, a pair of socks, or she'd go order in some pizza, or she'd just had $14,000 worth.
That's staggering.
And then now here she is, at a bankruptcy that'll be with her from now on, and not only that, everybody else that extended this credit, now they're out. So.
Got burned.
And guess who has to pay for that? Huh?
Was she a student, or did it say what her circumstances were when they sent her the freebie?
It seemed like she said when she got the thing, she was a student, but then she had, over the period of a couple of years, she'd gotten out of school and was doing this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that wasn't the only debt that she had.
No.
But the idea is they're sending these things out, and people are getting themselves deeper and deeper and deeper in debt. Used to.
Exactly right.
You never heard anybody, with this kind of thing. But now, all the people that advertise money is, to pay off your credit card debts.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It is terrible, and it's a deep hole that you might never crawl out of.
That's a shame. It's a shame.
Deep hole. It's awful, particularly on a young lady like that who somebody's going to want to buy a house.
Yeah.
And they're going to tell her, no, you can't have no house.
Yep.
Bad news,
Don't tell how many marriages this thing's run to.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
More than all the whiskey and red-haired women in this country.
That's what's on my heart.
All right, buddy. Glad you shared it. Take care of yourself.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-800-57-1-800. I pushed the button, nothing happened there. Then I, under my breath, I cussed. And that could have been the problem. The Lord could have been punishing me for that little cuss word I said. I apologize. Listen, I want you to go to Ireland with us. When Irish eyes are smiling, we're going to be there to watch them. And I want you to go. Don't wait too long. We're going to come up on a dead end in this thing before long. Either we're going to have all the folks we can carry, or we're going to have to get busy and settle it with the airline. So you need to call right away. If you got any desire to do this, it'll be fun. Awful lot of the folks that are going with us, probably more than half, folks have traveled with us before, like a big family, look after each other, and just kind of enjoy what we're doing. And what we're going to be doing is touring Ireland. 1-888-256-3044. You call today. It's a toll-free call. Don't you miss out on this, King. Need a roommate, don't worry about it. I think we can pick one up for you. A lot of ladies, a lot of gentlemen looking for roommates. So if you need one, call. We'll go to work on it. Same with the passport. We'll help you find one. 1-888-256-3044. Toll-free call. Do it now.
All right, listen up. Here are the rules for listening to the Ludlow Porch Show on the Fun Seekers Radio Network. Number 1, lighten up. Don't believe everything said by the host or the producer for that matter. Please check your ego and program directing at the door. Do not tell Denny, I don't want to go on the air. Just give Ludlow this message. Because if you do, oh, Lord have mercy on you, my friend, if you ever try to call again. Now be patient. Lots of other wackos just like you waiting to get in too. When you call and the producer says Ludlow Porch Show, do not say, is this time live? And no, we don't take requests.
And remember, the U.S. Department of Agriculture recommends farm livestock be kept at least 50 yards from radio speakers. Safe listening distance for household pets is 37 feet.
And the USDA takes no responsibility for persons injured by animals listening to the Ludlow Porch Show. For information, just send for a free catalog. Write Fun Seekers Network Listener Rules, Department J, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
All right, 1-800-572-8255. As we go to Winchester, Georgia, and talk to my buddy, the Bumpkin.
Good morning, Uncle
Good
Leslie.
morning, cousin. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm wide open, bud. Wide open.
I love it.
Look here, Phillip head screws and Phillip head screwdrivers.
Do without them, could you?
Man, I'm going to tell you what. They've sent many a good man to hell, probably.
Well, the bad part about this, when you have one of the Phillips head screws, you never have a Phillips head screwdriver, and vice versa.
And if you do have one, you have broke the point off of it or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
The most aggravating things that God ever let anybody invent, except maybe a casserole.
Casserole, yeah.
I'm sick and tired of casserole.
Yeah, I'm not a casserole guy.
Me either. I find that every time somebody builds a casserole, they're trying to hide something.
Just trying to get rid of some broccoli.
Or something that you don't normally eat.
Something, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, tree huggers.
Yeah.
I'm so fed up with tree huggers. This conversation with they tell you which tree you can cut down and which pile you can move, and that gets to be a problem in South Georgia where we're trying to farm.
That gets to be a problem any place men are free and think it's their land and they can make a pasture out of it or a shopping center, and it's nobody's business but theirs.
Well, I love trees. Now, don't get me wrong, and you do too.
Sure, oh yeah.
And I'm going to look at a certain amount of them. But if I got one I want to move and it's on my property, I feel like I ought to be able to get my axe and my saw and go put her on the ground.
I'd hate to be the man to tell you couldn't.
Well, they do though. They do.
Bad stuff.
And my next thing that I could most certainly do without is these new sitcoms they got on television.
I don't think I've seen a single new one this year. That's how disinterested I am.
Well, they so nasty and vulgar.
Yeah, well, that's the whole idea now. How much can you get away with?
Yeah, how much can you get away with? And this disturbs me.
But it don't disturb more people than it does. It disturbs me, too.
Well, undoubtedly, most of the world loves it because they come back with more and more and more.
That's right.
Well, anyway, Luddy. Anyway, y'all keep up the good work, and I'll be hanging in there.
All right, big boy. I'll talk to you.
See you.
Take care. 1-800-572-8255. Gag, it is the Blue Willow Inn of gracious hospitality and superb southern food. Let's take another trip to Secour, Alabama, and talk to Sherry. Hello, Miss Sherry.
Hello.
How you doing, dear?
I wish I could say I'm doing better, but I'm not. I'm hurting like crap today.
Well, you sound a little dragging. I'm sure sorry.
Yeah. Well, listen, I heard that guy speak about credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a credit card one time, and after I paid it off, you know what I done, Love?
What?
I got a pair of scissors, and I cut things up, and every time they come in the mail, they go in file 13.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Garbage.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the, I guess everybody needs one to, when you're going off on trip, vacation, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just not ought to use it. I ought not to use it more than you have to.
That's right, because if you use that credit card a lot, you're going to get your own self in trouble.
No question about it.
Then you're going to have trouble paying it off.
No question.
And then you're going to say, well, how did I get myself into this?
Mm-hmm.
It's with those other people sending you that credit card and it going in your hand and then going to the store.
And then everything going to the dogs. You take care of your
Exactly. Hey, the HEP here in Foley said to be sure and tell you hello.
All right.
They love you, and they love your work.
Bless your heart. You take care of yourself. Got to get out of here. And we love them our darn self. We'll be right back.
And the good book says, love your neighbor. Well, my neighbor moved in about a year ago with a truckload of junk and a GTO that he put up on blocks in the front yard, and this has been there ever since. His kids tore up the truck.
Let's go to Cleveland, Tennessee, and talk to Faye on the radio. Hello, Faye.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine.
Good.
My really special annoyance is the insurance companies. I had a death in my family. Well, I lost my husband a little over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep getting these insurance forms where it is just guaranteed to cover him. No matter what, I am guaranteed such and such insurance.
That's pain in the neck.
No, that's not exactly the area.
Well, this is a family show.
No, but I called this one company, Veterans Life. I finally called them because I was getting like 2 and 3 things a week.
Uh-huh.
And I said, does it matter that he's been dead for a few months? And the lady goes, well, but I still get mail from them, so
really?
I guess it doesn't.
It hadn't worked its way around the computer yet. When my mother passed away many years ago, we continued to get her Social Security checks. And, of course, I would put them in a drawer, and at the same time, I'd call and report this or write them a letter. It took 9 months for that to work its way through their files.
Boy, it doesn't take that long anymore.
Well, all right.
That was just my one little thing, that it just really, these companies that you can't really tell anything, but I've started just filling them out and sending them in.
Yeah.
And see if I get refused on everything, they'll quit sending them.
Yeah, but it's you shouldn't have to do that. You want to do that, handle one telephone call, but you can't.
Yeah, but and with the credit cards too, I think everybody thinks that now that I'm a widow, I've got to have extra money, and I just really have to have their card.
Only kind of widow is a rich widow, you know that.
Yeah, but if I owed everything on those credit cards, I wouldn't be.
I got you.
Thanks a lot.
Faye, you take care of yourself. Good
Bye-bye.
to talk to you. 1-800-572-8255. Things that you could live without. Here's our friend, Pennsylvania Vince. Hello, Vince. Greenville,
Hello.
South Carolina. How you doing?
Hello, fine. Yes, sir, beautiful day in South Carolina.
Same here.
We were driving around with the windows down yesterday.
Good.
My wife got a sore throat and could hardly get up this morning. That's a little early for having the top down.
Yeah, you may be pushing the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought this up today because I've been thinking about this for a while, and I was wondering how I was going to get it on your program. I heard just recently that in school now, they actually have a class teaching the children the difference between fact and fiction, truth and false. That the children are growing up today in the 3rd and 4th grade, that they can't tell whether things are real or true or not because they see it on TV.
Uh-huh.
They want to know if dinosaurs are really purple. They want to know if people can fly through airports that are running late.
Yeah.
And the worst culprit of all, where this information comes from, is NASA and Star Trek. And children today now actually believe that you can go to other planets and live there. And all this stuff is coming to a point now where the teachers are so frustrated because they're getting textbooks that have fiction in there, and they want to know, children want to know, did the equator run through Florida? Because the textbook says it does.
The textbook says it runs through Florida?
Yeah, a whole bunch of things like that they've got so twisted around now that trying to educate children is a big problem because you can't tell the difference between facts and fiction. Now, over the past century, we've had a lot of hard, cold facts that were very interesting. We know what they are now. The next century, we don't know. It's all science fiction. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but they've already predicted all this stuff, and they're teaching it now in school as though it's going to come true. And it really bothers me.
But haven't they always done that, Ben?
Yeah, but it's worse.
Haven't they always shown people driving to work in their own little private airplane in the future, and telephones where you can see through them? Haven't they always had that? Are the kids getting dumber?
Well, what amazed me and really bothers me is the fact that they actually have a class now where they're teaching children the difference between fact and fiction. They bring up these subjects. You know, are dinosaurs real things, or should we believe that stars have planets going around them? What are we supposed to believe?
You're supposed to believe what the facts are. Oh, that's so silly to blame NASA for all of that. I'm not a big NASA fan, you know that, but this whole thing is silly. Did we have to explain to the children about Jack and the Beanstalk? It wasn't really. Any school system that would come out with a textbook that had to explain the difference between fact and fiction, the superintendent should be fired, and they should take her fired body and beat everybody else to death with it. It's just so stupid and such a, not a waste of taxpayers' money. I don't care about that. A waste of those children's time.
It's happening right now that they actually have classes where the teachers are having trouble even learning how to teach the children what the difference is.
Yeah.
And even like with credit cards, I got one the other day, and he said it's only 1.1%. I said, how long does that last? He hesitated, and he said, why do you want to know? I said, because
I got to pay it.
Yeah, he said, well, after 10 days, then it goes back up to 21%.
Oh, really? That's awful.
But they don't tell you that.
No.
I mean, this is really something, how truth in advertising should be a premium.
That's no question about it.
But it isn't anymore. You can get a free car and $1,500 cash.
Bitch, you take care of yourself. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. I'm willing to blame NASA for as much as the next guy, but you can't blame them for that. Listen, going to have a big time. Let me tell you what I can do for you. I can tell you how to go to the wonderful Blue Willow Inn and save yourself 25%. That's right. Easy to do now. This offer is good from now to April the 14th, 2001. And to receive your discount, 25%, you must make your reservations in advance, and the discount must be requested. At the time you make the reservations, you just tell the lady on the phone that you want the Fun Seeker special discount. And then when you dine, you receive a 25% discount. Easy as that. So you get yourself on down there and enjoy the best food in the world. And don't forget the Fun Seeker special, 25% off their regular price. We'll be right back. You betcha. Go to Marietta, Georgia. Talk to my buddy Odel. What do you say, Tiger?
Hey, good morning, Ludlow.
How you doing, big guy?
Oh, I'm doing all right. A little cloudy down here today, and it's just a dreary day, and it starts making me think about things that I don't like.
Yeah, good. Good.
The things I could do without, like a leaf blower. Who invented that weapon?
You know, the only thing wrong with it, Odell, it hasn't got a good muffler on it.
Well, I think that's the problem right there. I mean, the good Lord gave us rakes. That was enough, wasn't it?
That's right.
And boom boxes. I think I can do without boom boxes too.
Yeah.
If people carrying them around the music with them.
Me too. And they don't care where they are. Do not care where they are. They can hear it as loud as they want to hear.
The thing that they put those boom, I forget what they call them. I used to know. They put them in the trunk of the car, and you can hear them coming from a mile away.
You can feel them.
Yeah, you feel them.
You can feel them. You can feel that bass drum. Boom, boom.
And I know there's a law against it down here in Cobb County, but I don't ever see anybody getting pulled over for it. But I hear them all the time.
They're woofers.
Woofers, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, and gum on the sidewalk in the summertime.
Oh, that's my mother didn't get excited about much. She was a very easygoing lady. Yeah. But if she stepped in somebody else's chewing gum,
I'm the same way. I'd cuss for 2 days.
It'd really get her goat.
Well, that's about all I had to get. I got a long list. There's things like beepers and cell phones, all sorts of stuff. But I'm gonna let somebody else get in there and complain a little bit.
All right, bud.
I enjoy talking to you, Ludlow.
Call us soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye. 1-800-572-8255. Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Noah count. Hello, Noah.
Hey, Ludlow.
How you doing, old friend?
I get my share of those credit card offers, and but anyway, something happened to me recently that on my card that I never heard of before.
What's that?
I pay my balance off every month, with some exceptions.
Yeah.
Back in July, I made a charge of $3,200 on my credit card, and I paid it off $800 a month. So I began getting these letters saying, "We noticed you made an unusually large payment. Are we losing your business?"
As soon as possible.
and then they included 3 checks that I could pay off other bills at 3%.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of competition in that field.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I got a set of those checks yesterday from a credit card company, and it just said, just go ahead and write these on out. Shoot. Don't be broke. Write these out. We'll send the money to them. Don't have to pay us back for 35 minutes.
I got the last one of those letters yesterday. I called them and told them, you don't need to be sending me those letters. And the guy didn't even know, the person I was talking to didn't know about the practice.
Yeah. Another department.
Yeah. Anyway, you keep on keeping on.
All right, big boy. Everything going well here, and I hope it is at your house.
Yes, it is. Bye-bye.
Hang in there. Talk to you soon. 1-800-572-8255. Lake Greenwood, South Carolina, and John on board. Hello, John.
Morning.
How you doing, bud?
You're already approved. Send for your card
That's
now.
Right. That's right.
Where it says right here. Got one in my hand right here.
Yeah, and you can throw that one away because you go get another one tomorrow.
Where the rest of them go?
Yeah.
Can I say something about bread first?
Yeah.
Yesterday you were talking about bread being $2 a loaf. There are 2 stores in this area I know of that the bread is made by Sunbeam, their own brand of bread.
Yeah.
Philo bread, Higgly Wiggly bread. It is made by Sunbeam. It's about half price.
Really?
Yeah.
Sunbeam's good bread, too.
It is. So is Higgly Wiggly.
Very good bread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And music came up, of course. And rap music, of course, isn't meant to be played loud, apparently, because everybody does it.
Yeah.
And what they do is they put a speaker in the trunk. They don't have any room for a spare tire or anything.
Okay.
And I can hear them go across the bridge here at night and hear them all the way up to the top of the hill, which is about a mile and a half. Finally gets across the lake.
I'm not being facetious, but something like that has got to have an adverse effect on your hearing.
It does because, some rock stars, what's the one's name that's out of Canada? He's deaf now, just about.
Yeah.
Anyway, he blames it on his music, listens to loud music all the time. I've often wished I had one of those systems myself and put it beside somebody in town that has it up real loud and put in an Ernest Tubb or a Freddie Fender tape, and just have about a 40,000 watt system and just drown them out.
Put it so loud that it'll dent your quarter panel.
Yeah, I could do without. Yeah. Didn't you realize, too, the telemarketers could do without people who hang up on them?
Yeah.
I hung up on one yesterday. The expression I heard that, do without that.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go there and not. And William Shatner commercials. I could do without those.
Well, pretty bad, aren't they?
Sir, buddy.
Pretty bad.
I'll talk to you folks later. I got to go to work.
Go do it. I'll talk to you.
Okay, see you.
Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. Let's talk to the farmer's daughter in LaGrange, Georgia. Hello, farmer's daughter.
Greetings. He said he has to go to work. My work's half done. The day's half over.
Well, he's got a late shift.
Oh.
Late shift.
Oh, must be late. Yeah, I get very aggravated with all this junk mail that I get in the thing, and the phone calls. Yesterday, you know, we've got some stuff that'll stop the wrinkles. I said, how do you know I got any wrinkles?
I don't have any wrinkles.
I said, I don't have any wrinkles. I said, now when I get 70 or 80, I may have wrinkles, but I said, I'll be proud of them.
That's right. kind of like battle emblems.
Hang up, you know.
Yeah.
But I have a friend whose child is on disability because he's mentally handicapped. He gets those things. And he's written the companies and said, don't send them, because this kid's 21 years old. And, you know, he can scribble his name.
Sure.
And they sent him two. He didn't even fill out the papers, and they sent them to him. I mean, he just stuck his name on there and put the paper, I guess, in the envelope and sent it off, and his daddy didn't know it.
That's terrible.
And you know, he wrote them. I mean, he called them, he wrote them, and everything. They're still sending stuff. So it's gotten to where he checks, you know, he has the mail delivered to a box, and he checks the box before he takes the mail home.
Not a good way to do it.
But I'll tell you one thing that I did
that
stopped it. When they send them to me, and they have the little prepaid thing on there, I get all the papers that they sent me, stuff it back there in that little envelope. And I write on there, not interested, and I seal it, and I send it back.
And they have to pay postage.
Of course.
Yeah, very good. You're sneaky, aren't you?
Well, I guess. I'm not sure whether it's sneaky. I just don't want my trash can filled up with all that stuff, and I figured they can recycle it.
Good for you. You take care of your sweet
I just want to
self.
let you know. Take care and have a good day.
Go finish some milking now.
There you go.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-800-572-8255. Want to tell you about the Georgia Agorama. You're going to love this place. See it one time, you're going to keep going back. This is reliving the history of the 1890s. Georgia Agorama. It's our state's living history museum. First opened up to the public on July 1, 1976. Today it consists of 4 distinct areas. Traditional farm community of the 1870s in great detail. Progressive farmstead of the 1890s. Industrial sites complex, and a rural town, including a drugstore that'll just knock you out. And over 35 structures have been relocated to the 95-acre site and faithfully restored or preserved as they appeared at the turn of the century. This is just a place you need to see. Got folks down there giving you lectures on these things, answering questions, a location daily to explain and demonstrate the lifestyles and activities of that period. Get yourself on down there. Take a carload. You're going to love this. I-75 exit 20. I-75 exit 20. It's open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can take church groups or whatever. Get yourself there. It's wonderful. It is absolutely a fun place to go. I-75 exit 20. Living History Museum, Agorama, right there in beautiful Tifton, Georgia.
This is Profile America for Wednesday, January 24th. In some parts of the country, today will be marked by fireworks, symbols, bright colors, parades, and festive crowds. It's the Chinese New Year, 4699, the year of the serpent. Although the official calendar of China has been the Gregorian calendar for more than 50 years, many Chinese still celebrate their traditional New Year, which occurs on the second new moon after the winter solstice. The standard Chinese greeting on this day is Happy Greetings and May You Gather Wealth. Today, there are 1.6 million people in the U.S. Chinese ancestry. More than half live in the West. The largest single concentration is in New York City. Profile America is brought to you as a public service by the U.S. Census Bureau.
And now a word from Hackenthorne.
It's happened to you before. You're taking a nice leisurely drive down the highway, speeding past wooden farmhouses, majestic trees, and mom-and-pop gas stations that still offer that full service to move high, when out darts a post office. There's no stopping a vehicle going 70 miles per hour. You smash the possum, then check your rearview mirror. Yeah, he's a goner.
Did you ever ponder for a moment where that possum came from? Possums are not indigenous to all states, and many states have to import possums for their motorists to enjoy. That's where we come in. Many of the nation's top possums are shipped from the Hackenthorn Possum Farm in Dodge City, Kansas. Our possums are painstakingly raised in temperature. Chances are you'll see it's a Hackenthorn with a registered Hackenthorn trademark displayed proudly on the belly. Next time you're in Dodge City, stop in for a tour of the Hackenthorn Possum Farm and ask about our other fine line of roadway critters, insects, mice, and armadillos.
We'll see you soon at Hackenthorn.
I hated like the devil. Tell her we were through. I was sure it would break her heart, tear her world in two. She is such a fragile thing. Lord, I hate to make her cry. So I broke it to her gently when I told her goodbye. She cut me like a sailor, kicked a hole in the kitchen wall. She threw me and threw the phone halfway down the hall. Said I'll be there
All right.
at the ball.
Took it like a sailor, in a sense.
Yes, on and on.
Took it like a man. Go to Chatsworth, Georgia, and talked to my friend Jerry on the radio. Hello, Jerry.
Hey.
How you doing, bud?
I got lost in that song. Did you hear that possum commercial?
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
You hadn't heard that?
That's good.
Where do you get your possums now?
off the road. I was trained.
I see. Okay. I didn't want you out getting some kind of off-brand possum.
Okay.
Okay.
My gripe is toilet paper. Thin toilet paper.
Uh-huh.
And then you have these rolls. Well, you know what happens with thin toilet paper.
Yeah.
But you have these rolls that only turn halfway round. And you have to pull off about 20 times.
Yeah.
And then they've come out with these big rolls.
Uh-huh. Won't even fit in there.
And
can't hardly get them in the bathroom.
I want to kill the guy that invented them big rolls and hospital waiting room furniture.
Uh-huh.
That's all made the most uncomfortable furniture.
You know what? They make hospital waiting room furniture where if they were any better, you'd go to sleep and be there a long time. And if it was any worse, you couldn't sit in it at all. It's got to be just right. You got to be able to sit down for 5 minutes and get up and walk for 5 and that sort of thing.
Amen.
Not very comfortable.
Where did you get the possum commercial? Is it a joke? Is it real? You ain't going to tell me.
Well, yeah, I just don't know. Two things. I think I may have to go get Denny the Heimlich maneuver because he just took a bite of a bagel when you asked that. That is a real commercial.
Really? I'm going to Dodge City. I got a boy stationed at Forest Riley, so I'm going to go to Dodge City.
Take a big truck, bring back a truckload of those things. It'll save you the postage.
I'm just going to take pictures if you don't mind.
That's all right. Jerry, you take care of yourself.
I want to tell you, you got a big fan in Eton, Georgia named J.D. Bostick, a retired Air Force fella, and he talks about you all the
Mr.
time.
Bostick at Eton. Well, you give him my love. I'll talk to him personally when he calls in here. Look forward to it.
Appreciate it.
Take care of yourself, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. We talk to my friend Bungalow. Hello, big boy.
Hello, Ludlow. How's it going?
We got about a minute, but if we run out of time and you ain't through, we'll hold you over.
That tells me something.
How you done, bud?
All right. Stuff you can do without.
Mm-hmm.
Junk email.
Oh, yeah.
Now, every morning I get about 3 or 4 says, do I want to be a millionaire overnight? Do I want email stuff? All kind of junk. Get out of debt. I ain't got no debt. What do I do there?
That's right. And let's tell them you're already a millionaire.
And you can respond and put remove like it says, and you cannot send it back to them. It won't accept it.
Really?
Yeah. I hit reply. I hit I put the address in and everything, and it comes back, server will not accept.
That's funny.
But I could do without that.
Yeah, they think they got you, don't they?
I guess they do.
They don't know you'd see them dead before you buy a thing from them.
Yeah, that's what I say. I'm in a heck of a shape. I mean, I can't get out of bed. I don't know nothing. What am I supposed to do?
That's tough.
It's tough out here in the real world. But, Luddy, I'm going to be down there to see you before long.
Oh, I hope you will.
Yeah, Lucy going to get her driver's license tomorrow, so I'll let her chauffeur me down there.
All right.
We'll pull up in that big limousine and we'll go somewhere.
I love that.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, buddy. You take care of yourself.
Okay.
Bye-bye. My buddy, the Bungalow, 1-800-572-8255. We'll be right back.
And I heard the front door slam. I guess all in all, all in all, took it like a man.
This is the Ludlow Porch Show on the Fun Seekers Radio Network, brought to you in part by AirTran Airways, It's Something Else, and by the Lanier Lodge. The toll-free lines are now open at 1-800-572-TALK. That's 1-800-572-8255. Or in Greater Atlanta, 770-205-2741. And now, here's Ludlow Porch.
Well, good morning, Fun Seekers. How y'all? Having a good time today. Got cloudy on the south side. All that good bright sunshine gone, at least for the time being. But here's what we're talking about. We're talking about things I could live without. Got everything from rutabagas to Bette Midler to telemarketers. And we'll take some of yours. Just jump in here, 1-800-572-8255. Let's get right to the phones and go to Rome, Georgia, and talk to the Rome Wild Man, Wild Bill Jim. Hello, Wild Bill Jim.
Horatio Hornblower here.
There you go, H.H.
Good morning to you, Ludlow.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Well, there's so many things, so little time. I think I might have mentioned before the guy with the sign on his bumper that says, honk if you love Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And the fellow in back says, oh, why not? Beep. And the guy sticks his head out the window and starts cussing him out. That light is still red, you idiot, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one. Then these people, when they want to quote somebody, they make their little claw marks with their fingers in the air.
Mm-hmm.
When they're talking.
Little claw marks. I love that description.
Oh, yeah. I can do without that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then on the telemarketers now, then they whichever spouse they get, they'll ask for the other one by name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I think, well, maybe it's one of my wacko friends.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be somebody that wants to sell me something.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now, I got one of my brother-in-laws mad at me here some time ago. He was washing his truck, and I happened to notice he had a sign around his license tag frame that says FAA licensed pilot.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think he knew that thing was back there. He is a pilot, all right. But anyway, I said, well, never can find one when you need one. You know. And it occurs to me that there's a whole industry that could grow up around that type of thing.
Probably already has.
Well, like a licensed druid priest.
Yeah. Escaped convict.
Convicted shoplifter.
Child abuser. You're right. It could put T-shirts out of business.
Right. Licensed talk show host.
I got you. I love it.
Talk show producer.
I love it.
You know.
Jewel thief.
Yeah.
Adulterer.
Right. Hawk if you love Slim Whitman. Now, people who are loudmouths, you can't talk to somebody else because of their loud mouth.
Yeah.
Or somewhere else. And there's some old ladies that find it impossible to whisper.
Yeah.
They just can't do it.
Yes.
She's got a voice like a cement mixer, you know. And
I used to say they learned how to whisper in a sawmill.
Yeah, like the one I had sitting 2 seats back when I was on the job that I had. And I heard her say, "Think he knows what the hell he's doing." I mean, I looked all over the place for some rough air, and couldn't find it no place.
Well,
I thought it might be a good time to practice my aerobatics, but no.
It could have been a career-ending day for you. That.
Yeah. Now, here's my candidate for the worst commercial that there is. It shows a stomach laying on a lawn chair, complete with its little esophagus out one end, and
yes,
and then a tiny little bowel out the other. I even forgot what the fool thing is. But of course, it had no legs; it can't walk.
Yeah.
But it flops like maybe an amoeba or something of that sort.
I gotta watch that, Jim. I hadn't seen that one. That is funny.
Count your lucky stars.
Yeah, that is.
You mentioned Bette Miller a while ago. Is her head out of proportion to the rest of her body?
I don't know.
Looks like. I mean, and now they are not satisfied to tell you to be tolerant. You know, of people that have, let's say, alternate lifestyles. They got the sitcoms full of them now. And
hold on just a minute. That's an airplane just went over. Then he's headed down. Look at that. Excuse me.
Oh, is he making whining noises?
No, he just went. Then he had his back to it. He came right over us. Is he gone, did he? All right.
Well, I mean...
Maybe he's looking for something to land on out there.
He didn't have red meatballs on the wings, did he?
No, it looked like he won ours.
Thank God for that.
I'm sorry, Jim. I interrupted you for a simple airplane crash.
A licensed enemy pilot. I mean, any number one of those things. The other thing that I learned to hate when I was flying a fire helicopter, you know, out in California, media helicopters. We were the slurry bombers, you know, that dropped the fire retardant.
Yeah.
And helicopters were controlled by an air boss or somebody up in a airplane, kind of like airport control people.
Yeah.
Because for instance, we wouldn't go in there at the same time that they was going to bomb a place.
Of course not, yeah.
And but here comes these doggone TV helicopters in the play. I mean, in the way. And if you've got about 1,000 pounds of water hanging underneath you, you know.
Yeah, that's you don't have inch by inch control.
No, you don't. And I had a couple of them when I was on the ground that come up to me with a microphone, and I said, I can't comment on that.
Yeah.
Sorry. There went my chance to be on the television.
That's right, or to be an immortal captain of the clouds. I got to go, big boy.
Yeah, well, let's just wipe out the whole thing.
All right. Forget it ever happened.
All right. Bye-bye.
I'll see you later. Hey, Jim?
Yeah.
Leave the building.
Oh, I'm leaving the building. Thank you very much.
Talk to you later. 1-800-572-8255. Yeah, the airplane in the middle of his conversation came right over so low, very close to that tree out there, and the one right dead behind you, and just kept getting lower and went out of sight, getting lower, and I don't know what could happen to him. If there's an airport over there, I don't know about it. And if there's not an airport over there, Katie barred the door. More conversation right after this.
9 days till Groundhog Day.
I've talked to you before about the Jasper Jeep logo that you see on the rear window of cars everywhere. Well, that logo tells you a lot more than the name of the dealership where the car was purchased. Yes, sir. It says that this car was bought at a fair price. It says there was no hassle involved, no haggling, not even any negotiations. A fair price with no tricks ever. That's what that logo stands for. Let me put it this way. If your car has our logo on the back window, that is your guarantee of customer satisfaction. Listen again, that is your guarantee of customer satisfaction. Yes, sir. The Jasper Jeep logo can bring you a lot of peace of mind. Jasper Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth in Jasper, Georgia. Now they open 8 to 7, Monday through Saturday, but never, ever on Sunday. You tell them Ludlow Porch sent you by, and you are there to pick up your dream car at Jasper Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth. Boy, we're having fun now. 1-800-572-8255 as we go to Somerset, Kentucky, and talk to J.R. Hello, J.R.
Hello, Ludlow.
How you doing, Tiger?
I must say, I like your commercials a whole lot better than I like our public service announcements. Much nicer. All right, I've just got one thing to say this morning. All these people that are complaining about getting pre-approved credit offers and all that jazz, there's an easy way to get out of at least part of them, about half of them anyway. You just need to dial a phone number. It's 1-800-5-OPT-OUT. OPTOUT, and that gets you off of most all the credit card companies' list.
Give me the number again.
It's 1-800-5-OPT, which should be 678-688. It's opt out.
Very interesting.
That is. I think the government actually put that into effect like last year sometime.
Now, what kind of mail does that stop? Just a credit card?
Credit cards, actually, anything that deals with credit in general. I think that's like TransUnion credit number, but it gets you off their mailing list for like 2 years.
Very interesting.
It is a handy little number to have.
It certainly is.
It's cut mine probably in half by at least a half.
You know what I'd like to cut?
What's that?
Catalogs.
Amen.
I tell people that I get 17 to 20 catalogs a pop. They think I'm lying. They think I'm crazy. But it's the truth.
Oh, I deliver mail part-time.
Yeah.
And trust me, I know of at least 2 or 3 people on my route that normally get anywhere from 10 to 20 every day.
Well, we don't do that every day. Some days we only get 3 or 4 or 5. But for the most, we'll average out, I get 10 or 12.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
That is awful.
It is, but I thought that was one of the handiest little numbers that I'd read.
It is a good number, and I appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely.
You take care.
You have a very good day.
Thanks, sir.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-800-572-8255, Air Airways gang. You take my word for it, it is something else. Let us talk to Buttermilk on the radio from Dalton, Georgia. Hello, Buttermilk.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. You sound down in the mouth.
I still got a cold.
Have you?
No.
Well, I hope you get better.
What I could do without is four-way stops and people that tell you how the movie ends.
Oh boy. You're right about the last one. I don't know about the four-way stop, but I don't want to know how the movie ends. Don't want to know.
But on a good note, I'm happy that they caught the convicts, because they were in the town where my niece lives.
Really?
Yeah, I was real nervous about that.
Bet you were. They're all back in jail except for the one that killed himself.
Well, I know, but I mean that just worried me.
Oh, sure it did.
Well, y'all have a good day.
Okay, buddy, you take care of yourself.
Okay,
I'll talk to you.
bye-bye.
Listen, try to calm down a little bit. 1-800-572. When they call with generating that much energy, let's go to Trion, Georgia. Don't want to do that. Want to go to Lanier Lodge. That's what we want to do. By golly, they didn't want to go to Trion, Georgia, and I wouldn't let him. Lanier Lodge, gang, exit 15, Georgia 400 in Cumming, Georgia. Great spot for you to stop off if you're going up to the North Georgia mountains to go to a series of those festivals up there. Or if you're just going up to look around Lake Lanier and enjoy it, North Georgia Premium Outlet Mall, do some shopping. Any of those destinations, you need to come right here to Lanier Lodge and check in and enjoy a good place, nice people, get a lot of rest. Call ahead for a reservation. 770-889-3045. Mention my name and you'll get a commercial rate. Save a few bucks. Lanier Lodge, exit 15, Georgia 400 Cumming, Georgia. Love it. Good beat. Go to Trion, Georgia, and talk to my buddy William on the radio. Big William, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, this is Sweet William from Trion, Georgia.
All right, buddy.
Now, I'm going to have to put a plug in now for you not letting Lenny carry you to Trion.
Well, I wanted to go to Trion.
Yeah.
But Lenny wanted me to go someplace else. So I said, we'll go to Trion next.
All right, I'm from Trion, Georgia. This little mill village here. I'm going to put a plug in. This is known as the denim capital of the world, yeah. Manufacturing this denim cloth.
Really?
Yeah. But that's not what I was talking about.
Okay.
This here junk mail stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been listening this morning. I enjoy your program.
Thank you.
And I don't know, I didn't caught it if anybody didn't mention this little $50 check you get through mail.
Nobody mentioned that. What is that?
All right. They haven't. You get a little $50 check through mail, and you better not sign that thing and cash it unless you read it real good. You know, like always, the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
You better read the fine print. Because if you sign a little check and send it in, first thing you know, your long distance exchange, a big change, don't you?
Oh, yeah, okay, one of those.
Yeah. And I got a call right here lately. I want to know if you wanted to save money. Of course, everybody wants to save money.
Yeah.
But I stopped right then. I said, wait a minute, what's this about? And they want to know, and that's his telephone exchange,
Yeah.
And once you tell them you're not interested, they want to know why. Why don't you want to save money? And that irritates me. When I say something, no, I don't want anybody to come back and ask me why.
Well, that's when you hang up.
Yeah.
That's when you hang up.
I told him right then, I said, I'm not interested in it, and thank you. And just like you said, I hung up.
Hey, no problem with that. Yeah.
So I didn't hear that, and I just thought I'd throw that in there. Better not sign that little $50 check unless you read it real good.
I promise you I wouldn't. I'd appreciate it, William. You take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And
enjoy your program, fella.
Love you, denim, pal. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. And boy, are we having fun now, or what? Let's talk to Choo on the radio. Hello, Choo.
Hello, Ludlow.
How you doing?
Well, I'm doing fair and middling, whatever that means.
Well, that means you're okay.
That means I'm A-okay.
Not a boy.
Yeah. Luddy?
Yeah.
There's one thing that I can do that.
What's that?
And I do without them pretty much. I mean, of course we got one or two, but I don't try not to use them, and that's credit cards.
Yeah, you got to start to use them when you need to. Few and far between ought to be.
Well, see, we don't have as much reason to use them as we once did when we was traveling around.
Right.
When you're traveling, you really need the credit card.
Yeah, you sure do.
But Lord have mercy, I bet you we get from 4 or 5 offers a week. They mail them to you. In other words, you have been approved.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either. And I'm like you. I get at least 5 a week, and Nancy gets at least 5 a week.
Yeah, and saying that you've been approved for a major credit card.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I don't know who they're trying to fool, but you're not approved till you get that credit card. I mean, till they send you the card.
Yeah.
And then you can go out there and buy something.
As you know, I do an awful lot of business traveling. And the credit card folks at American Express particularly are very good about keeping great records, so you got records at the end of the year to prove everything you've done. That's about the only one I use for that reason.
Well, they're good, like that, for that reason. But you don't need no billfold full of
No,
them.
you sure don't. Choo, I got to get out of here, buddy.
All right.
You take care of yourself. I'll talk to you.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. It's the Dawsonville Pool Room Gang, Dawsonville, Georgia, home of the world's best cheeseburger, and plus that's the official cheeseburger of the Fun Seekers Radio Network. Ludlow and Denny having the time of our life. We'd like for you to jump in here and join us. We're talking about things that you could live without. There are a lot of those. Give us your nomination at 1-800-572-8255. Now, it's time for us to check in on Neil outside. Our buddy brought to us today by our more than wonderful friends at Georgia Power Company.
With the whitetail season in the South all gone, maybe it's time for something refreshing, something fun, something social, relaxing, and productive just the same. Let's go dove hunting. Whoa, you say that's all done months ago. Indeed not. You have a few days left. I know it can be frustrating trying to bag those little rascals. Flying in at Mach speed, darting about, they can be a formidable challenge. But when you harvest a few with a gathering of buddies, a barbecue almost always breaks out. Now, I don't know how that got started, but it's one of those accepted things, and I'm glad of it. The thought here is that since deer season is over, which is kind of a lonesome hunt anyway, you do have another few days at least to harvest a few of the little gray speedsters until next fall. Give it a try. It'll be a fun shoot, and the barbecue will be good. Now this from Georgia Power. Wouldn't it be just amazing if we could communicate with the animals? Well, actually we can, at least with the help of one of these. Hey there, this is your old hunting buddy O'Neill with my trusted duck call, and we're seeing a bunch of different kind of ducks fly into this pond, even an occasional goose. Now, they all seem to be pretty happy, too, as they should be. You see, all kinds of wetlands here in Georgia are being maintained and protected thanks to a partnership between the folks at Georgia Power, Ducks Unlimited, and the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. They've created a program called the Marsh Project that enhances these wetland areas by constructing bird houses, wood duck boxes, and even providing food to make sure the bird populations will continue to grow. And by the look of things, that seems to be the case. Too bad they don't make a fish call. A message from Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Okay, so I'm a teenager, right? And everyone's so quick to judge me. On the outside, I may look like... but on the inside, I'm all... Just because I look like... doesn't mean I act that way. In fact, I'm actually involved in crime prevention. That sounds more like this. It's really a great way to convince adults that while you may be looking... you're really thinking.
Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out how to make your community a safer place for everyone. Get involved. Get the number and call. 1-800-722-TEENS. A public service message from the Crime Prevention Coalition of America, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the Ad Council.
One 800-572-8255. We go to Kingston, Georgia, and talk to Jimmy. Hello, Brother Jim.
You doing?
I'm doing good, Tiger. How you doing?
Oh, it's a little bit cool here this morning.
Yeah, same here.
In the big city of Kingston. Now, I'm looking out the window now at the big high buildings here. We got some big ones.
A lot of neon in Kingston.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what I could do with that.
What's that?
These big natural gas bills.
You gotten big bills?
Oh, man, I'm telling you. There's some people in Rome. I was listening to a Rome station this morning.
Uh-huh.
And they're getting $600 bills and $400, $500 bills over there.
And didn't I hear on television this morning that one of the big ones is about to go up 15%?
Yeah.
How can they do that?
I don't know. That's gouging the people. The government's got to step in and help us somewhere.
Well, you don't want the government involved. You think it's screwed up now. What do you get the government involved?
I imagine it would be then.
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to do? My bill, we just heat with it.
Yeah.
I don't have any other, to use it for any other use, you know.
Yeah.
And mine was $251. That's awful.
Yeah, well, to answer your question, it's just that the free marketplace going to have to take care of it. Somebody's going to have to realize that they can get more business by lowering that price and start some kind of gas war on them.
Look like they will.
I hope.
You reckon I could write my congressman and get anything done?
Couldn't hurt. I bet everybody else is writing him. Why don't you write it too?
I think I will. Well, my wife, she told me there was one thing she could do without.
Did she tell you what it was?
Me.
You.
Yeah, she said she wanted thinking about divorce. And I told her, I said, I'll give you the best years of my life. She said, was that your best years? Now I know I want a divorce. Yeah.
You tell her it's downhill from now on out.
It's downhill. See you later.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you. Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. Were those the best years? Was that your best shot? Good question. 1-800-572-8255. McDonough, Georgia. And Joe on the radio. Hello, Joe.
Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning, Tiger. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
The previous caller must have known my ex-girlfriend.
Really, must have.
That's what I could do without as a blonde-haired lady from Kentucky.
Yeah, did she ruin your life?
Well, Ludlow...
Did she make you unhappy? Let me put it that way.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I was an Iraqi tank commander during Desert Storm.
she was gone before you knew it, was she?
Oh, she went through me like a hot knife through warm butter.
Well, that's young love. Young love.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's fun when it started and painful when it was over.
Well, that's reason they make movies about love affairs, for that very, very reason.
Yeah, I guess it is. You know, I think ex-girlfriends and the IRS for similar reasons, and most of which I can't mention on the air.
Yeah, one of them will kiss you and one of them won't. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, my ex-girlfriend, I kind of look forward to the kisses from the IRS more than I did from her.
You're a bad man, Joe.
I know. I just ain't had my coffee this morning, that's all.
Being in love, particularly in the early years, is kind of like being a football coach. You know it's not going to come to any good ending.
That's the truth of the matter right there.
That's right. The very few Super Bowls and an awful lot of teams.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ludlow, I felt like I was red dogged.
Did you really?
I did. I felt like I was looking at Brazina, Kuykendall, and Curry all at once.
You know what you ought to do? You ought to write a song. You have the soul of a poet. I can tell that about it. Write a song about that old slutty girl that dumped you and went back to Kentucky.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ludlow, it sounded more like a tear in my beer than anything else.
Well, then just rework an old song.
I'm thinking about it. I might be standing up on stage in Nashville one day taking an award for it.
Never know. You take care of your bad self.
Oh, I intend to, Ludlow. We'll talk to y'all later.
Call us again.
All right, God bless.
Old girl got him good, didn't she? 1-800-572-8255. And you know he has no faults. You can just talk to him and tell that his heart is as pure as a free-running sewer.
Tear in my beer, 'cause I'm crying for you, dear. You are on my lonely mind.
Oh, yeah. But that's a breaking up and getting out of town, so. 1-800-572-8255. We would like to hear from you on the Fun Seekers Radio Network. Got a lot going on today, but primarily we have zeroed in on things you could live without. Those things that just should not be part of your life, like road construction or traffic or telemarketing or a tattoo on your face that says USS Coral Sea. Isn't that what's in that record? We'll talk about all that right now. We're going to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and talk to my friend Glenn. Hello, Glenn.
Good morning, Ludlow.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine, big boy. Thank you.
Kind of a follow-up on a couple of your earlier calls. The guy gave the 800 number.
Mm-hmm.
I called that number.
Uh-huh.
And they changed it from 1-800 to 1888. The rest of it's the same. Opt-out is the same.
Okay, but it's 1-888?
Yes.
All right.
And there's four companies, and none of which I've ever heard of. And you got to give them your name, your address, and your Social Security number, and they'll take you off for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little reluctant to give out my Social Security number, but everybody's got it nowadays anyway.
Yeah.
And the other one had the guy that called about the gas.
Mm-hmm.
In South Carolina, we have regulators down in Columbia, and I agree with you. We need to take the government out of this thing, but they just allowed them a 10.5% raise in September, a 14% in January, and they turned them down yesterday for a 9% raise.
I wonder why they've been so stingy with them.
Well, this is the reason they gave. It said since January the 12th, the money that the gas companies have to pay for gas, the price has gone down 22%. Now, do you think we'll ever get to see that 22% decrease?
That's gone.
It's really gone.
Gone.
Yeah, but...
that's a memory.
Yep. Those are some of the things I can do with that, too. But one of the things, and I know I'm going to step on a lot of toes here, but I'm going to say it anyway. But the things that I can do with that is when you go into a restaurant and you sit down and the people that come in and sit down beside you, whether it's 1, 2, or 5, first thing they do is light up a cigarette when they come in the restaurant. Looks like they could have done that right before they came in. I know they'll say, well, we've got a right to do this, but my opinion is they don't have a right to contaminate my lungs and to make me stink when I walk out of that place.
Well, most restaurants now either have no smoking or have a smoking section.
Yeah, they do. But unfortunately, my two favorite ones don't.
Really?
And they're real small kind of places, but
that's a shame.
But I'm gonna do what I can to make it non-smoking.
You take care, buddy.
Thank you, Ludlow.
Talk to you soon.
Enjoy it. Bye.
Thank you, pal. 1-800-572-8255. Now, you probably don't have to be sold on the virtues of flying in business class with all that room to stretch out and think and no middle seats. But until now, upgrading to business class was usually reserved for those with an abundance of dollars or an abundance of frequent flyer miles. Then along came an airline called AirTran Airways with a business class that's not only within reach, it's probably right in your pocket. For just over $25, for just $25 over the already low coach fares, you can upgrade to an extra-wide business class seat with 7 inches more legroom. The last time Denny and I were flying together, he said, I wish we could upgrade to a business class with 7 inches more legroom. And then he said, upgrading to business class was usually reserved for those with an abundance of dollars or an abundance of frequent flyer miles. And I said, Denny, that's a shame. He said, I want to get a seat that I can relax with a couple of drinks on the house and pay about $25 more. And I said, why don't you talk to the stewardess? I mean, she flies to great business cities like New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Pittsburgh. She'll tell you. She did. She told her. So the next time, he said, I want a lot more room for just a little more money. He booked online at airtran.com. Got it wrong the first time. He did airtran.org. But when he finally got it right, airtran.com, he just... $25 for one is in the business. AirTran Airways, gang. You listen up now, because your airline has arrived. Sure and door do not rhyme, lady. And Cole Porter right now is spinning in his grave like a wearing blender. 1-800-572-8255 as we go to Somerset, Kentucky, and talk to Bob on the radio. Hello, Bob.
Good morning, Ludlow. Boy, that was fast.
You're doing good today, aren't you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Denny and I were laughing about, he was telling me one of the things that he absolutely hated was ask somebody how they are and they would acknowledge your presence, and he wanted to say, not too darn good, huh? What really irritates me, one of the things that I could do without is kids waiting on me in a place giving me their life history.
Give me an example of that.
Go into some place, and be waited on, and they say, tell you what they did last night with their girlfriend or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or stuff that's absolutely none of your business and you could care less
well,
about.
You need to ask them, say, pardon me for interrupting, but do I look like I'm with the National Enquirer?
Yeah, it absolutely wears my head out. A friend of mine and I were talking on the phone this morning. We were talking about going to a restaurant, and he goes to this place all the time, and they know what he likes, know what his wife likes. And they had somebody out of the ordinary, and they came back with something that she didn't order, and she said, I did not order this. And the little young waitress said, I know you did. I wrote it down and proceeded to argue with the lady. Can you believe that?
I'll tell you what, it's absolutely true. I went through a drive-in window the other morning, going to bring some breakfast in here for me and George. Then he was out of town.
Uh-huh.
And pulled up to the little meter, you know, the little PA system.
Oh, yeah.
And his voice came out. It said, and I said, yeah, and hold the price. No, I said, I beg your pardon. There we go. I mean, I don't know where he slipped a cog. It thought he was back in Tijuana or what, but it came out all out. I didn't understand the word. Did not understand the word.
Oh, no. And another thing I can do without is film, TV, or music critics, because I never agree with them.
Yeah.
They're full of prunes, every one of them.
Well, sometimes I think they're more interested in writing something or saying something cute than they are in a fair, impartial review, you know.
I did see one this morning. I had to go by the doctor's office, and I saw an old People magazine, and there was a new Johnny Cash recording, CD or whatever, and it was very complimentary, and after I read what I read, I want to buy the thing.
Yeah.
So there are exceptions.
Only exception, but cuteness comes in first place.
Yeah, somebody called it a terminal case of the cute.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've got it off my chest, and I can have a better day.
All right, well, and a better life, for that matter.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. 1-800-572-8255, Cartersville, Georgia, and Don on the line. Hello, Donald.
Hey there, Ludlow. How you doing, bud?
Doing good, buddy. You behaving yourself?
Trying to.
I'll accept that.
Yeah, right. Now, I got a little credit card thing I wanted to run by you or tell you about.
Good, good.
I got a retarded sister-in-law. Well, they say she hasn't been in town, about a 12-year-old. She was in her 40s at the time. And they sent her a credit card. And, of course, she didn't make any money. All she made got a little Social Security money is all she got. And they let her run up the limit on the bill and turn around and trying to sue her to pay it. I told them, I said, she didn't ask for the card and we're not paying it.
Yeah.
So they had several phone calls wanting her to pay that bill. They shouldn't even send her the card to start with.
You're right. You're right. Sometimes they get pretty far out, and you know it doesn't have to be a big amount of money for them to show their fanny. They'll jump on somebody about a few bucks.
I know, you know.
Sound like you handled it well now.
Well, I guess we did. They hadn't called in a long time.
Yeah.
I just want to run that by you. That's how crazy some of these credit cards.
Oh, I know it. I know it. Well, sometimes the world is crazy.
Tell me about it.
Sometimes I hear a news story, I think, well, I've lived too long, I'm ready to go home now.
Yeah.
Did you see the two escaped convicts on television this morning?
No, I hadn't seen it this morning. I heard about it on the radio, though.
They wouldn't agree to surrender until they gave them 5 minutes of television time. And you know what they said? And I was shocked.
What's that?
They said that the Texas penal system was an unpleasant place to be incarcerated.
Well, bless their heart.
I figured that was Disneyland West, didn't you?
I sure did.
Yeah. What they need to do is give them a lot of fresh air. They need to take them out there and handcuff them to a pine tree.
That's right.
Nobody fuss at them. Nobody go by and slop them. Go by and slop them twice a day. Yeah. I was just shocked to hear that there were bad things going on in the Texas prisons.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Well, probably everywhere, you know, it's saying that they have to treat them like prisoners, ain't it?
That's the reason they called it jail.
Yeah, sure is.
I'll talk to you later, my man.
Okay, bro, we'll see you.
All right, hang in there.
All right.
Did y'all see it on television? Just funny. Funny as it can be. 1-800-572-8255. Ludlow and Ninny. More conversation right after this.
9 days till Groundhog Day.
I want you to listen up, gang, because there's some big news coming out of Mayfield ice cream. Listen, Mayfield has a new flavor. Mayfield has a wonderful flavor, and they call it hog heaven. A divine combination of cookie dough ice cream, bits of toffee, chunks of chocolate, and a rich caramel swirl. You are going to love this. Every mouthful gives you a different taste. Mayfield's new hog heaven. You go in and ask for it and tell them Ludlow sent you. The drunk gypsy song before they got drunk. Go to Cleveland, Georgia now and talk to Jocilynn. Hello, Jocilynn. How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good.
One thing I could do with that is this new Florida quarter. Have you seen one?
Haven't seen that one yet.
Well, it looks like a 5-cent piece, but you have to recount it 5 times.
Now, this is a Florida quarter.
Yeah. Looks like a 5-cent piece to me, and you have to recount it 5 times.
Is it the same size as the quarter?
No, it's the same size as a nickel.
I'll be darned.
It's a joke. It's a nickel. You have to recount it 5 times.
Okay, I heard that.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You know, I think I've got an average sense of humor. Did you get that? It's a 5-cent piece and you count it 5 times? Oh, I guess I'm not as bright as I thought I was. Count it 5 times. Number 1-800-572-8255. I think you're going to put an explanation of this. Is that it? I'm sorry, Jocilynn, I didn't get it. And then by the time Jenny explained it to me, it was too late. It wasn't funny anymore. But if you want to talk about transmissions, you call me. I know all about transmission. Number 1-800-572-8255. I hate to do that to somebody because it rained on her parade. She had heard that and knew that was funny and wanted to share that with us. And it just dropped. Jocilynn, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll do better next time. Our number 1-800-572-8255. What a day, gang. What a day it is. Peeping a little blue through the clouds now. We might be going to get a little sunshine out here. After all, one can never tell. But for the moment, not doing much. Just kind of hanging out there. Let's go to Somerset, Kentucky, and talk to JJ on the radio. Hello, JJ.
Hello, Ludlow. How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir. You doing all right?
Pretty good.
Good.
Just working.
I got you.
Things we could do without.
Yeah.
Bossy, pushy people, backstreet drivers, or backseat drivers, rather. Road rage drivers and tailgaters.
Well, they need to be slapped off the road.
Yeah, exactly. That can, really put people in a bad mood there. Another thing I thought was probably the best things we could do without, probably half the politicians in Washington.
Oh, I think more than half.
3/4.
Yeah, there you go.
Ludlow, appreciate you getting me on the line and enjoy your show.
I appreciate the call, and y'all, pretty weather in Somerset today, I hope.
Oh yeah, it's pretty sunny. Most of the snow's gone that we received over the weekend, and things looking pretty good for that Super Bowl weekend coming up.
All right.
Want to say one other thing?
Sure.
I gotta tell my boss, Rughead, I'm getting back to work. Thank you, Ludlow.
Rughead's going to hit you right in the mouth one of these days.
Well, this is twice I've called you in a row, so he might not think I'm getting too much done.
But we know better, don't we?
That's right.
You take care.
Thanks, Ludlow.
1-800-572-8255. I was just handed a fax. This is very interesting. This fax says, on the things they could live without, top of the list, they've got women who don't know their place. I'm not going to tell you who signed this because you recognize the name. Women who do not know their place. I'm not sure I know what that means, but I bet you know what it means. I want to hear from some women out there who don't know their place, and we'll talk about the person that sits there. Our number 1-800-572-8255. We'll be right back.
Soon he will open the door. Don't think because there's a ring on your finger you need try anymore. Oh, why?
This is the Ludlow Porch Show on the Fun Seekers Radio Network, brought to you in part by the Living History Museum at the Georgia Agri-Rama and by Mayfield Dairies, the folks who remember how ice cream is supposed to taste. The toll-free lines are now open at 1-800-572-TALK. That's 1-800-572-8255. Or in Greater Atlanta, 770-205-2741. And now, here's Ludlow Porch.
Well, good morning again, Fun Seekers. It is warming up just a little bit. Some of the clouds have moved out and a little patch of blue showing, and we're waiting to hear from you. We've been talking about things that you could live without, things that just don't quite make it into your world. So we'll talk about that, or we'll talk about whatever may be on your mind. 1-800-572-8255. We're going to go right now to beautiful Spartanburg, South Carolina, and talk to my buddy Evelyn. Good morning, Miss Evelyn.
Good morning, you and all of you out there in Wacko Land. So good to be with you.
I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here.
Sound like it's my show, doesn't it?
Sure do.
Listen, a certain Spartanburg fella in broadcasting said to give you his best wishes.
Okay. And you return the salutations
I
to it.
certainly will. All of you guys there in the room, he wanted you to know,
Yeah.
especially you.
Yeah, especially. He's
Now-
a good guy.
Oh, yes, very much. Now, things I can do without. This list could go on and on, but I'll make mine short.
All
I
right.
love this type of show, too. This is a great show today.
Thank you.
How about when a person or persons come into a room and you're already having a very private conversation, sometimes in a serious thing with someone else, and they burst upon the scene like, boy, I'm here now, the thing can begin, and they just take over, dominate. Don't even wait to be invited into the conversation.
I got to tell you, I used to have a friend. I used to work with him. And I don't know whether he's the nosiest man alive or what, but he would walk up while you're having a conversation, and he would say, huh?
Uh-huh.
As if to say, would you mind recapping what I missed?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know exactly that's almost what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And a big one on my list, big, is I can certainly do without profanity, especially in the media where it's spread out for everybody to hear, even little kids.
Mm-hmm.
They can't get through one program now. I'm speaking mainly of commercial television, the sitcoms as they call them. And the big thing, it seems to be that every other sentence on television, I don't watch it, but you can't help but run into it, is, oh my, G-O-D, over and over. And that's a catchphrase that we can do without.
Well, what they think they're doing, they think they're giving us what we want.
I know.
And what they're doing is giving us what we exactly right.
And one guy got kicked off TV. I think it might have been for a few hours or whatever it was. He was suspended, Jack Parr, for saying water closet.
Yeah.
That was going too far.
Yeah, they do that.
And
do that, and there's a happy medium there someplace.
Well, though you look back at the good old comedy shows, and Andy Griffith certainly sticks in my mind first, had every element that you'd want in a good comedy, and not one time did they ever sink to gutter talk.
And it always had good ratings.
Yeah, and bathroom talk on television or anywhere else we can do without.
Here.
Now, and quickly, let me just add this. I am tired of all these new, and this is an oxymoron, but you'll see why, new old cliches like her plate or his plate is full.
Uh-huh.
Push the envelope. What does that really mean?
I think it means take a chance.
Oh, okay.
Go too far with something. But nobody's ever explained to me how that came about. I'd like to know.
That's what I want to know.
I would like to know, too.
And how about, only in the last 5 years have I heard this word over and over and over. They finally had closure. I don't remember that word.
Closure's a new word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, the list just goes on and on, but you get just a little bit tired of it.
Yeah.
You know, there's another one. You know.
Drives you nuts. Miss Evelyn, you take care of yourself.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I got a private message now for somebody out there named Art. Art, I don't know where you're from. Art called yesterday to get some information on the trip to Ireland. Art, you called on a cellular phone that was about half working, and all we got, Tiger, was just your first name and the fact that you had paid 29 cents for a telephone. So call us back from with a landline someplace so we want to send you a brochure, but all we got was Art, and we didn't get the town you were from, Art, and didn't get any of the telephone numbers because it was just breaking up real bad. So if you are the Art, or if you just want to go to Ireland, you can call and say you are. We'll never know, and we'll take you with us. So let's Art, do that for us. Now, for the rest of you out there, I want you to give us a holler. We are looking forward to this. Now, if you're a single lady, a single man, and don't want to pay the single supplement on this thing, we have a list of single men, single women who are going and looking for roommates. So women with women, of course, and men with men. But we're going to find out why Irish eyes are smiling, and we'll make arrangements to find you a roommate if it is at all possible. We're going to have just wonderful food while we're there. We're going to have Irish cabaret shows. We're going to visit some of their most famous pubs. 16th century Trinity College in Dublin. We're going to stay in Kingston, the gourmet capital of the world. Waterford Crystal Factory, Limerick, Ennis, Bunratty Castle, Folk Park. Going to see it all. We have thought this thing over and have lined this thing up, and we got it all. So I want you to call today, and let's make sure we got you on the list. 1-888-256-3044. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-256-3044. Don't put this off too long, gang. We're going to have to withdraw this and have a deadline coming up next month. So I don't want you disappointed. I want you to go at least May 26th, which is right around the corner. You be sure you call us. 1-888-256-3044. Ludlow and Denny, more right after this. All right, shame on you, Miss Robinson. You need to go to Sunday school, Miss Robinson. Leave that boy alone. College graduate now. 1-800-572-8255. Noonan, Georgia. And TJ on the line. Hello, TJ.
Good morning.
How you doing, my man?
Great. And Miss Robinson was pretty bad, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about a couple of things I could do without, but before I do that, tell you about your trip to Ireland. I've been to those places you're going to more than once. They're unforgettable. But the best thing are the Irish people.
Yeah.
Never met anybody like those folks.
Yeah, I've heard that time after time that you can make a friend while you stopped at a red light.
Yeah, I mean, they are so anxious to please and polite. It's the greatest treat you'll have over there is the interaction with those folks.
Well, we're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to a lot of that interaction. I want to go where they go and do what they do. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that makes the trip.
Yeah.
A couple of things I could do that I hope I live long enough that people don't wear ball caps backwards and men don't have tattoos and earrings. My mama would say they're trying to look trashy.
And making it.
Yeah, and succeeding. But enjoying your show this morning. Got to run, but I did want to talk to you. And have a good trip to Ireland. We're going to be there at the same time you are.
Well, call me.
Okay. Leave your numbers.
All right. That's fun. Y'all going to be over there where we are?
Yeah, we're going to be in a little town called Westport, way over on the west coast, northwest coast of Ireland, and do a little touring from there, but it'll be our third trip over there.
That's wonderful.
And we just love it. It's the best place in the world.
All right.
Besides here.
Place that keeps calling you back.
Right.
Yeah. You take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Hang in there.
All right.
Bye-bye. Listen, I want to introduce you to Agorama, Living History Museum of our beautiful state in Tifton, Georgia. What they've got 3 or 4 different areas, very distinct areas, like a farm community of the 1870s. They got another one, a progressive farm of the 1890s, an industrial science complex, a rural town. Over 35 structures have been relocated to this 95-acre spot and restored or preserved as they appeared at the turn of the century. Got folks in costumes on location daily to explain and demonstrate the lifestyle, answer any questions you have. just go down there and roam and introduce yourself to this. It's open Monday through Saturday. Only closed on Sunday. It is I-75 exit 20 in Tifton, Georgia. You're going to like this place. Go, make your plans to stay a while. Take some children if you can. This is the place that will let them know how it was, the way we were. Great place. I cannot say enough about it. Handled with tender, loving care. Every volunteer down there knows this place like the back of their hand and love every piece of wood. It's a wonderful place. Living History Museum, the Agorama, Tifton, Georgia. Tell them Ludlow sent you. Mayfield Dairies, gang, the folks who remember how ice cream is supposed to taste. Our number, 1-800-572-8255, as we talk to the inspector. Good morning, Inspector.
Good morning, Monsieur Ludlow.
And how is your bad little self?
My bad little self is doing fine. It's on this beautiful Georgia's morning.
That's wonderful.
How about your bad little self?
Doing good, doing good.
Doing good. Just finer than wine, huh?
Very good.
Oh, you like that, huh?
I like that. That makes you sound very hip.
Very what?
Very local.
Very local?
Uh-huh.
Very cool?
You're pretty cool, yeah.
With it?
That's it, with it.
In the groovies?
In the groovies.
Rocking and rolling?
All of that.
Are we going to just keep this up for the next few minutes?
I hope not.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You either, do you write speeches for the governor of the state of Georgia?
No.
Well, you must have had a big impact on his life, monsieur.
How is that?
He must listen to you every day.
I hope.
Because even as we speak, he is making speeches before the legislature of the great state of Georgia in regarding a change to the Georgia state flag.
Yeah.
And he was specking about the fact that he is 100% Southern, true through and through.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I love collard greens, I love Brunswick stew, cathead biscuits, streakerline bacon, barbecue, everything Southern. This isn't going anywhere, monsieur, but I'm just telling you, he was rattling off all these great Ludlow Porch givens, you might say.
Yeah, Southern stuff, yeah.
Yes, trying to prove that even though he was Southern, he thinks it's time for changes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just taken by the fact that he must listen to you. Or is it just that he is as Southern as you are, monsieur?
I think he's very Southern. I've known him a long time, very Southern.
You know he owns a tractor store, monsieur?
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's Southern.
Yes, he does. In the Mapleton, Georgia?
Really?
Yes. You know what the name of it is?
What?
Barnes Store.
Hey, hired a PR firm for that one, didn't he?
This is true. But that is true. That is not some of the inspector shenanigans.
Okay.
Now he maybe have unloaded the store before taking the office of governor, but for many years he was a big tractor dealer.
Well, that's very interesting. Yes. A very nice man.
Yes.
We could argue about his politics forever, but he's a very, very nice man.
Oh yes, I have had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Only problem is he has sweaty palms, monsieur.
Does he really?
Yes, you know. I have always been.
I've heard all my life.
Yes.
Watch a guy with sweaty palms.
I know. I wonder where that is.
I don't know.
But anyway, yes, I think he's, for being the, how should we say, the loyal opposition, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a good guy.
Yes.
And we can talk about that flag a little more sometimes.
Well, maybe so.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, that's a hot potato.
A what, sir?
A hot potato.
What is a hot potato? I mean, I don't understand. Does that mean it is an important issue, or
that means it is hard to hold on to?
Hard to hold on to.
It will burn you,
monsieur.
I mean, he may find out that it's easier to change governors than it is to change flags.
Yes, monsieur, I understand what you're saying.
Hot potato,
hot potatoes, yes. I know. We had the same problem with Charles de Gaulle.
Yes. Charles.
Yes.
Charles. They kept saying that. In the name of all this holy, Charles, will you get out of here and go away? And he kept saying, we. No, I ain't going with you. I want you to go. We.
This is
Charles de Gaulle. Charles was a big man.
I'll tell you what, he was a squirrel, too. Anyway.
He kept talking to Eisenhower like Eisenhower knew him.
Yes.
And Eisenhower would turn to General Bradley and said, who is the tall guy with the speech problem?
And the big news.
I don't believe I know him.
Yes.
Look at that hat. They're going to a party.
Monsieur, a little known fact about Charles de Gaulle.
Yeah.
Do you know that he never wore drawers?
No, I didn't know.
Yes, he did. He did not. He did not. He was not a big believer of layering when it comes to dressing, monsieur.
He didn't wear any underdrawers?
No drawers.
I wonder who told him.
I don't know, monsieur. I read it in Little Known Facts of French Gentleman's Quarterly or something like that. I forget anyway.
The famous No Drawers magazine. I never miss that myself.
That's true. Yes, but written by Shorty LeBeau. But monsieur, you know, you bring me down to earth. You keep me on a level plane. Just when I think I have pretty much learned it all about the Southern speaking and slang, you throw something at me like, what is a hot potato? And so I want to thank you for not letting me get the big heads.
Well, you know what I always say.
Here we go.
Don't worry about the mule going blind. Just load the wagon.
Monsieur?
Yeah.
No way I can follow that. You have a good day.
Jee-haw. I'll see you.
Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yo and his brother Kaye. I'll talk to you later.
Bonjour.
Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. Dawsonville Pool Room Gang, home of the world's best cheeseburger and the 8th best hot dog. Two of those guys are in Seattle getting very old. They'll be gone soon. Yeah. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. Let's say, let me tell you what we got. We're gonna do something tomorrow that's gonna just tickle the inspector to death. We're gonna tomorrow do a tribute to Southern cooking. We got this all worked out, so we're gonna need some recipes from you, your favorite Southern dish, and what has snuck its way into being. I had a big argument with a guy one time, not long ago. He said pinto beans were not Southern, and I told him that they were. And a slice of onion and some pinto beans and some cornbread was about as Southern as you could get and still stay in the United States. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Hold that thought for tomorrow, gang. A tribute to Southern cooking. We're going to talk to some good Southern cooks, and we may even come up with 2 or 3 good. We'll start with desserts and come back up to the main course and just have a good time. So you be around for that. It's going to start with the first hour, and we hope it'll go all through the day. A tribute to Southern cooking. And if you ever get out of the South in length of time, like in the military and can't get back, that's the first, you'll miss that and the newspapers. And that's it. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. Weatherman says everything is cool, and he means real cool. The bottom's supposed to drop out of it again tonight down to about 20, 24 in the low areas, and you know where you are, low areas. So wrap up and dress in layers like the inspector's wife. Well, that's Charles de Gaulle he was talking about. We'll be right back. You stay with us.
Down the road. Mama wants to know if it washed in the blood or just in the water. And I want to know that he makes enough to take my daughter down the road. When it comes time to go down the road, down the road. Oh, I want to help her go down the road, down the road.
Why is it we never hear about the good things kids do?
And today's top stories, 2 teenagers are accused of drug-related crimes which are noteworthy.
A recent newspaper report showed that 65% of adults have a negative opinion of teenagers.
High school prom ends in tragedy tonight with 4 teenagers arrested on criminal...
A shootout downtown leaves 4 teenagers dead today. Police are still on the scene trying to identify the bodies.
It's time for teenagers to get noticed for doing something right. Get involved in crime prevention in your community. Tutor, mentor, volunteer. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to help make your neighborhood a safer place for everyone. And let's start proving everybody wrong by doing something right. Now, call 1-800-722-TEENS.
A public service message brought to you from this station, the Crime Prevention Coalition of America, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Larry, how about a ride through the neighborhood?
I admire you, Vince, working as a crash test dummy all week, and still you want to drive after hours.
Yeah, you gonna buckle up, my carefree companion?
Why, we're not going far.
I was hoping you'd say that. Up ahead, the bird bath of Dan and Sherry Hagee. Solid concrete, early 80s. The Hagees take great pride in their... Look out! Picture window. Notice the fine antique, like the 1922 billiards table. Totally under our wheels. And the custom-designed balls flying through our windshield. Next stop, the backyard of the 2 oldest trees in the county.
We're awfully close together.
Sir, please keep your arms and legs inside the car.
I will. Help me pick them up.
We hope you enjoyed your trip.
Boy, when you drive through the neighborhood, you really drive through the neighborhood.
Just wanted to show you, buddy, no drive is too short to buckle up for.
Point well taken.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle up, even on short trips. A message from the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
My mom says we must be getting into trouble when we hang out.
My neighbors look at me funny, like I'm going to break into their car.
That saleswoman followed me around like I was a shoplifter.
This woman on the train grabbed at her bag, like I was going to snatch it.
They assume because I look a certain way I must be dangerous or something.
Just because I skateboard doesn't make me a pothead.
Not everyone who hangs out in the park feels cracked.
Hey, my pants are baggy. That doesn't mean I'm in a gang.
Having a piercing does not make me a junkie.
Sometimes adults forget that they were once teenagers, and they probably hated it when people judged them, too. Teenagers can make a difference in changing how people see us. Get involved in crime prevention and help make your community better and safer for everyone. Tutor, mentor, volunteer. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out how you can get involved. 1-800-722-TEENS.
Let's prove them wrong by doing something right.
A public service message from the Crime Prevention Coalition of America, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the Ad Council.
1-800-572-8255. If we go to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and talk to Jim on the radio. Hello, Jim.
Good morning.
How you doing, Tiger?
Well, the one thing that I can do with that, I had a woman call me one night, and she had I had been pre-approved for a $25,000 credit card.
Mm-hmm. She called you about this, did she?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And she said, you've been pre-approved, and it don't cost anything if you don't use it. And I said, I'm not interested. And she kept on, well, why wouldn't you be interested? And I thought, this is my one time of glory to shine, that day. I told the lady that I was independently wealthy and didn't need it.
Good.
You know, and felt real good about
that. Good touch, Jim.
Real good. Now, the guy that complains about smoking in restaurants, you got to go back and remember that all restaurants revolve from taverns. And what did you do in a tavern? You went in there of a night and you sat and drank a few pints or gallons and smoked and chased the wenches. There wasn't nobody sitting around in there drinking cappuccino till the proprietor put a pot in the fireplace and started cooking roadkill and served that up. The people's wives didn't know how to cook, and they went out to eat, see? And if we could just drop the barrier right there and say, you're not allowed in here, all these things wouldn't be evolving and coming about.
What are you talking about? You lost me. How does that tie with cigarette smoking?
Well, the taverns, that's what they done. They went there to smoke, drink, chase the wenches. And
I know all that.
and drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started letting these guys, wimps and wives couldn't cook, come in of a night there,
Well, you think restaurants ought to be reserved for tough guys?
No, just men. You won't see one with tattoos or earrings.
We got to remember that a lot of folks, that smoke really bothers them. Smoke really bothers. I mean, talking about makes them sick type. And we just got to be just kind of be sympathetic towards that. That doesn't take much. That's just living together is what that amounts to.
Well, I don't plan on living together with none of them. Go in there and eat and leave,
Okay.
Saddle my horse and ride off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to my castle.
Got a boy.
They're not going to tell me that.
Well, you can smoke if you want to.
Oh yeah. Are you having problems with your flag in Georgia?
Yes.
Well, there's an organization, National Association of Complaining People, will be knocking on your doorstep. Of course, the ringleader of it, he won't be around there. He may be home changing diapers,
You never can tell. What's the organization? That's a real organization you put in my leg.
A real organization. NAACP. National Association for Complaining People.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, we're going to hear a lot. We're going to hear a lot from them and everybody else for it. It's already started here.
Yeah. We went through that. We've took down a couple of governors. We took down the flag off the State House, but we put it down close where people get a better look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And hell will probably freeze over in the hunt, and they'll go back out to sea before they'll take it down from there.
I don't think it'll. I don't think we're going to hear the end of this for many, many years.
Oh no. Well, we live in a wonderful country, got a lot of wonderful things, but then they start picking things to complain about. Just as easy to pick something to praise than it is to complain about it.
Yeah, but it ain't much fun.
No, and the crowds are small.
And you got more organizations already underway.
All right.
Jim, you take care of your bad self.
I'm doing it.
Talk to you soon.
All right,
bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. I tell you what we could do. We could, both sides of that flag thing, could dress better when they go to these demonstrations. But y'all look like some homeless white trash. Y'all dress up, put on a tie. People take you more seriously. You know what I'm saying? Take you more seriously if you dressed up and not. I can't explain it to you because you wouldn't understand. Just dress nice, wash your face, shave, and go on to the demonstration. Get you a nice sign. Don't get one of those homemade signs. Get you a nice sign. We'll have more conversation here directly.
Wayne was a pain in the town we're in. He blew up the trailer that he grew up in, burnt down the church and the junior high gym. His own mama wouldn't even blame him, but Hillary Clinton says we're to blame. She says the town ought to feel shame. We let Dwayne down when he needed us most. We pray for him if our church wasn't toast and such. It takes a village to raise a nut. We rebuilt the gym at the junior high school. Dwayne popped the lock for the tire tool. He blew out the windows with a pellet gun and spray painted some stuff about the coach's son. Albert Goer says he's appalled, says Dwayne needs midnight basketball. We need to spend quality time with him. We play ball with him at the gym, wasn't bolted shut. It takes a village to raise a nut. It takes a village to raise a nut. It takes tires squealing around a Pizza Hut. Takes a mama and daddy sitting on their butts. Takes a principal's office without any guts. It takes a sorry mayor in a school that sucks. Takes a lot of police and fire trucks. Takes a high school teacher who likes being kicked and cut. It takes a village to raise a nut.
All right. And maybe he wasn't named Dwayne. Maybe he'll grow up to get on television and complain about prison conditions. Did y'all hear that this morning? Two people, these pieces of human debris that have been running around shooting people. I had them trapped this morning someplace, and they agreed to come out peacefully if they'll give them 5 minutes on local television so they could tell that the Texas penal system was unpleasant. People there raised their voice to us. So they let them. They let them get on. They let them get on television, and they thought, and one of them said, it's the young ones that he feels sorry for. Said, they're never going to get a chance to go to college. No, they're never going to get a chance. You never go to college to arrest people unless they're doing something. This guy was surprised to find that the young people in college were wasting their lives. He indicated they're putting them in a cage and that sort of thing. That's what they ought to do. That's the reason they call them jails. And I would like for them to talk to the state trooper's wife that they shot down in cold blood and see if she thinks they've been mistreated. 1-800-5, and you know what? They ought to never let them on television. They ought to treat them like what they are, senseless, rabid animals, and either leave them in that camper or go in there and get them.
Let me tell you something, youngster. Someday when you get the backs of those ears dried out, you might wake up.
My kind of cop. 1-800-572-8255. Get the backs of those ears dried out. Wonderful American, Joe Friday. Let's talk to Sadie on the radio. Hello, sweet Sadie.
Oh, good morning, Ludlow.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
Yes, I heard you talking about things you can do without.
Yes.
Oh, I can do without friends that call up on cell phones. You know, cellular telephone?
Yeah, I know cellular.
I hate it when they get to the juicy part of their gossip. I mean, you know, news.
When they start to name names.
Yes. And the signal fades out.
That's awful.
That's awful.
That's awful, and you never know.
Yeah, if they're in the Walmart, you know, they got that tin roof and the signal barely gets out to the parking lot. It's terrible.
That's tough.
Oh, and I can do without one little child who lives at home, even though he's almost 50.
You're not talking about my friend, what's his name, are you?
No, well, probably. Maybe he could take the place of that criminal that, you know, that...
Yeah.
And they could, ship him out to Texas, maybe.
I think that's
You'd never believe what he did the other day.
What did he do?
Well, he got a stick, and he started pretending he was Errol Flynn, and started going around the house using words like hither and hark. It was awful.
Hither and hark, was it?
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
I just don't know what to do with that child.
Well, just keep loving him and keep, every once in a while you get a chance, punch him a little bit.
I do. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah.
Oh, you just brightened up my day, Ludlow. I'm so glad you're there.
Lady,
I've listened to you today.
I'm glad you're there today. We talked to your good son a little earlier.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he called in and had a very nice comment, as he always does.
Mom makes so much noise sometimes I don't get to hear your show completely, you know.
Not when he's doing his Errol Flynn. When he's in his Errol Flynn phase, you just have to be quiet and let him go through it.
If he just wouldn't wear those tights, it would be all right, you know.
He's pretty disgusting in Levi's. In tights, he's really hard to take.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I better run. Let you get back to your show.
You take care of your more than wonderful self. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Hang right in there.
Bye-bye.
1-800-572-8255. Special invitation for you folks to visit the Living History Museum at the Georgia Agorama in Tifton, Georgia. I-75 south to exit 20, get off, and you are right there. Not open on Sundays. I wish they were open on Sundays. That seemed like a logical thing to do. I'll speak to them about that. Folks have time off on Sundays, want to get there. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. Let me tell you how to become a cyber wacko and discover an entirely new world of wackoism. All you do is log on to the official Ludlow Porch website, www.funseekers.net, and you'll be able to listen not only to the show live, but you'll be able to listen to the archives. Go back in 90 days, as far as 90 days. You'll enjoy it. And who knows, you might even hear your voice on the phone. You know how clever you are. Our number 1-800-572-8255. Let me see something else I want to tell you about here. Oh, want to remind you, ask again about Art. Art called about the travel. Called the travel line 1-888-256-3044. Art, you were on a cheapo little hand thing there. Aren't all those pretty cheap? Yeah. Aren't they all made in Bonsoir? Bonsoir. If you got one of the leather ones, it's probably from Bonsoir. Anyway, you tried to call in, and you're in a bad place in the road or someplace, and all we got was your name. It was Art, and that was all we got. So, Art, call back, leave another message, but get to a real telephone, and do that for us. We'd appreciate it. We want to get you a brochure because we're galloping towards closing that thing out next month, and we don't want anybody disappointed. And another reminder, you can visit the Living History Museum at the Georgia Agri-Rumor in Tifton, Georgia, and you can do that every day except Sunday, exit 20, I-75. Ludlow and Denny on the Fun Seekers Radio Network. We'd like to have you jump in here and join us. We are having a big time. Listen, I want to tell you how to save 25% on your very next meal at the Blue Willow Inn. Here's what you do now. There are special instructions. So I want you to get these right. When you call up for your reservations, you can do this through April 14th. Tell them in advance that the discount is requested, and make a reservation, and don't forget the 25% discount. They'll do that. It's the Fun Seeker special discount. And then when you go in there and get ready to give you something other good and get ready to go out of there, 25% discount. So you do that. It's a little trouble, but it'll save you 25%. And you'll just enjoy it and smack your lips and walk out of there holding your pocketbook loosely. Ludlow and Denny, Fun Seekers. Fun Seekers Radio Network. We'll be right back.
This is Profile America for Wednesday, January 24th. In some parts of the country, today will be marked by fireworks, symbols, bright colors, parades, and festive crowds. It's the Chinese New Year, 4,699, the year of the serpent. Although the official calendar of China has been the Gregorian calendar for more than 50 years, many Chinese still celebrate their traditional New Year, which occurs on the second new moon after the winter solstice. The standard Chinese greeting on this day is, "Happy greetings, and may you gather wealth." Today, there are 1.6 million people in the U.S. of Chinese ancestry. More than half live in the West. The largest single concentration is in New York City. Profile America is brought to you as a public service by the U.S. Census Bureau.
All right, little Irish music there. I love it. Well, a special drop-by guest. My Nancy is here. And I thought while she's here, we might wind this up thing and save you a telephone call. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Been out and about this morning, haven't you?
I have been out and about, and I've also been checking on that travel line.
You hadn't heard from Art, have you?
I've not. I have not heard from Art, but I hope I do soon.
Art will call back.
I heard from a bunch of other people.
What questions are they asking you about this trip, Nancy?
Well, first of all, right now they're asking, when's the deadline?
Yeah.
They've heard you advertise this for about 4 or 5 months, and now they want to know how much longer do I have.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up toward the end of February.
Have to.
And we have to.
Yeah, the airline says wrap this up near the end of February.
We're required to do that. But the other question they ask, of course, is what's included in the price? And one thing we do on our trips, as you know, Ludlow, is we include everything in the price. We don't have them pay us and then say, oh, by the way, there's that airport tax, or you don't forget to tip the tour guide.
Yeah.
Everything is included in this price. The round-trip airfare from Atlanta, as you keep telling folks, through Newark.
A free trip to Newark.
Free trip to Newark.
No charge at all. Newark, New Jersey at its finest, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
On your way to Dublin, we'll stop in Newark. And 12 nights in superior class hotels, 2 meals a day, full Irish breakfast and dinner, plus all of the events, the tours, the shows, everything that's mentioned on the daily itinerary that they get when I send them the brochure is included, plus all of the taxes and tips. So it's all right there in one price.
And 2 wonderful meals a day.
That's right.
And they are good meals.
They are good meals, not just
yeah, because
a little roll and
you ain't going to weenie joint. You want to go to a place.
One of the things I'm looking forward to, one of the first nights that we're there in the hotel where we're staying in Dublin, we get to see a cabaret show with some of the finest Irish singers and dancers that they have.
Looking forward to that.
Can hardly wait.
I will probably dance with them that night.
A little while ago, one of your callers...
do that. Put your hands on your hips and just kind of float.
Is that how you do that?
I can do that.
One of your callers mentioned they were going to be there when we are going to be in a little town called Westport.
Mm-hmm.
We are also going to be in Westport.
Oh, really?
It's supposed to be one of the most picturesque towns in Ireland.
Yeah, this is the 3rd or 4th time they've been there. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I know it.
You got to like it.
Folks are also asking, of course, do you have somebody I can room with if I go by myself? And we do indeed. We have some ladies and some gentlemen who are looking for roommates, and we know these are good people. Ludlow, some of these folks are going on their 4th or even 5th trip with us. I was counting that up this morning.
Yeah.
And we have folks who just make every trip we take, which I find to be highly complimentary.
Yep. And after you travel together a few times, you start to learn how this is done and how it's done with less trauma on everybody. Make it right.
And folks make friends. We have folks coming from Florida who won't have seen the folks from South Carolina since our last trip.
Right.
And they make friends and they look forward to the good times that we have.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Then he just asked, is Guido Abramowitz going? I don't think Guido can make this trip. I think he's still in prison. Well, but they're still calling, they're still making asking the questions, and that's what we want them to do. Passports, how long is it going to take them to get a passport? Once they make a judgment about whether or not they want to do, how long does it take?
We tell folks that it takes 4 to 6 weeks. Now, that's kind of at the outside to get a passport. So once they make up their minds, that's the next step, is to make that application for the passport. In case it does take that 6 weeks, they need to go ahead and do that.
There's some shortcuts we can give them on that will help them out some. But just remember that that's your government in action, and you don't need to fool around and back them into a corner.
Another question I've gotten, and this hadn't occurred to me until somebody called and asked, do we need any special shots? And no, when you go to Ireland, when you go to most of the European countries, you do not need any special shots.
I'm going to get me a couple of shots on the airplane.
Not that kind of shots, Ludlow.
Oh, I see.
But
just a little Irish humor game.
Just that passport is the most important thing you can have ready to go.
Yep, and you need that anyway. You need that anyway in case an opportunity comes along to do something exciting, take a trip someplace. The last 10 years, I think, don't they?
I believe that's right.
I think the last 10 years.
And another thing I do, once I find out that someone has registered for our trip, then I start sending them informational letters. Mm-hmm. We talk about the weather, what we're going to wear, those types of things that they really want to know what to take. And, of course, we try to pack as lightly. I say a light packer is a happy traveler.
Yeah.
But they also want to know what kind of clothes am I going to take for that time of year.
Yeah, and we'll run a recent check on it, too.
Okay. We do all that.
All right, thank you for coming.
Well, good to talk with you.
Because I had to walk home if you hadn't made it. All right, guys, got to get out of here. Let's be right back with you tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to talk about Southern food, a tribute to Southern cooking, to your mama and mine. It's going to be a fun day. You be here, because we'll be here. In the meantime, you do me a favor. Whatever else you do today, you find somebody to be nice to.